Hey, everybody, and welcome to another installment of Plaid Stallions Toy Ventures. I am Brian, your host, and with this being December and Christmas time, I thought it was the perfect time to share the latest entry in my collection of toy store flyers. If you follow this channel, you know I've been collecting this stuff for over 25 years, and I'm always excited to add a new piece. These things are very rare and hard to get. And this one from 1979 is especially interesting to me because, well, I was there Christmas 1979 and I was a kid. So, Childworld was, of course, a legendary toy chain that has been sadly defunct since the early 1990s. I never got to go as a kid, but I certainly remember the commercials coming over from the Buffalo 29 feed, and I wanted to go to there. So what I thought I would do with this particular episode is go through all the amazing, iconic stuff in there. This store really was on top of their game in 1979. And then I was going to give a review, but also I am going to give you the 3 items I would have put on my Christmas wish list as a kid. Now, I actually have my 1979 Christmas wish list sitting next to me. But I didn't grow up in the United States. I'm Canadian, so some of these toys I wasn't aware of. So I'm going to try and look at it with some fresh eyes. So what I want to do is I want to channel my inner 9-year-old. That will not be that difficult. And tell you the things I absolutely would have asked for out of this circular. So hang tight. Let's go back in time together, shall we? So I just want to give my thoughts on a couple of things in here before we get into the whole Christmas wish list aspect of it. The number one thing is the Aquatron from the Micronauts. I asked for this toy and got it for Christmas that year. I loved water toys like this. Mego was running a commercial for this piece that just made it look awesome. It looks so fun. It wasn't as fun in my grandma's bathroom sink. It's just not, there's nowhere for it to go. It is much more of a tub toy. Also, I want to mention that I did also get this Lego police set for Christmas that year. I hadn't asked for it. I don't even know if I knew it existed. It was just a present from my grandmother. And it actually became the toy I left at her house, if you guys had that or can relate to that, so that when I went there, I had that to play with. And it got a lot of mileage out of me, my nephew, and then eventually my own kids played with it. And it's now here in my home. It's still in great shape after 40 years. So let me go on to my Christmas wish list. I'm going to pick 3 items from this that I certainly would have asked for as a kid, and I want to know your feedback after. The first thing I got to talk about is Mego Superheroes. I was still Mego Superhero crazy in '79, and I was always looking for the characters I didn't have. It was really tough. It was an uphill battle to find some of them, and I didn't until I was an adult in many cases. In '79, I already had asked for a Green Goblin, and I believe I got it that year. I would have asked for more if I knew a place like a Childworld that would have, like, the Human Torch or the Thing. Those were characters I saw once and never again as a kid. So number one would be Mego Superheroes. More Mego Superheroes. It still kind of works today. Number 2 would be the Imperial Troop Transporter from the Kenner Star Wars collection. Even though this was not in the film, I think it's canon now. I think it was on The Mandalorian. At the time, I was totally fascinated by it. And my friend had it, and I loved the talking features, and I think it had, like, brainwashing helmets for your prisoners, and it felt a lot like stuff in the Star Wars comic, like it's this expanded universe that's just off screen, and I was a sucker for that kind of stuff as a kid, and still kind of am as an adult, and I definitely wanted this toy. And finally, for number 3, it would have to be this fun stuff thing. I don't know how much fun I would have with the toy, but I was such a huge Fantastic Four fan, and like I mentioned with the Mego Superheroes, I could never find any actual merch of these characters that were, like, really beloved to me as a kid. So if I had run into anything, the thing could have been on a package of bubble bath and I would have wanted it. So I absolutely would have asked for the fun stuff thing, which I believe is kind of a rare and hard to find toy now. I certainly don't run into him very often. So, folks, that is my look at the 1979 Childworld toy catalog I have here. And I'm going to ask an important question. What items would you pick from this catalog to ask Mr. Santa Claus for? Let me know in the comments below. Or you can hit me up in our Facebook group, Pod Stallions, where we talk about important things like this all the time. Thank you, as always, for watching. If you're new to this channel, please consider hitting like and subscribe. This is what I do. And if you're not new to this, please consider sharing it. It really helps me out. I will be back in another few days with another video. But until next time, I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season. And, well, talk toys, not others, and be well. Cheers and thank you. Also, if you want to support this channel, please check out our store. We have 8 issues of a magazine, 2 new in-action figures, and some other fun surprises for the holiday season. Thanks for considering.